What up, though? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. There you go.
Hear me now?
I can hear you now.
That
It's
was
like you
weird.
got Verizon.
I mean, I'm on my iPad. I'm like, what the world going on with problems? Shouldn't have that
Man,
happen.
let me get the hat right, man, for the aesthetics for the show, baby. Just the show popping.
John said he'd be on shortly, so congratulations to your side.
Yeah,
Now,
man.
what do you think? Some things that was not done right on the Harris side.
Well, I mean, that's like two shows. You don't have that much time. Maybe you want to just maybe you want to nail that question down to something specific because that's a lot of information right there. I mean, we can say in a nutshell that it is unprecedented that a president would gain followers while he's not even in office. From the time Donald Trump was in office
Mhm.
to now, he's gained support. I mean, that's unprecedented that a president gets voted out of office, they say, which we're not going to go into that. He was supposedly voted out of office, and while he was out of office, he gained more support for the second election, which is crazy. And I believe that speaks directly to how people felt about the administration that we're currently experiencing. And Kamala Harris, man, they asked her. I remember she was on I think The View, and they was like, "What are some things that you would do differently than Joe Biden?" And she said, "I can't think of a thing." And so yeah, we was like, right then and there, we was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we see more of the same." Next.
Now, some people will argue, well, she can't diss her president. That's her running mate. My thought process is, you can give an answer that don't throw your president under the bus. That's your running mate. I mean, you can give an answer that we can tweak some things. Compared to a no answer because you're running for that seat now, and people want to hear something
It
that you're going
wasn't.
to do.
This is the problem. The problem isn't that she was trying to be loyal. No, she wasn't trying to be loyal, bro. I don't think that's what it was at all. She's just unfortunately ignorant to how real politics work. And she literally didn't have any real solutions or answers to create talking points to speak on. And so, I mean, when they ask her what, because even after the fact, and every time she got put in a position to really explain her policies, she was really coming up blank every time because,
Well, I was shocked to go to her website. I didn't see none.
yeah, there's nothing to see.
Now in 2020, when she ran, everything, any show she did, this my domestic policy, this my foreign policy. Like, okay. And I didn't see that this time. Like, that's kind of weird. And then ain't even on your website to where I could look at, okay, what you trying to do. Everybody was on the Obama train. I was voting for Hillary at the time. I went to his website and pretty much he did the Clinton remix. Like, okay, you're gonna do Clinton 2.0, got you. But I couldn't find that on her page. Like, this is who's running her campaign. This don't make
Yeah,
sense.
not only who was running her campaign, the reality is we never picked Harris. Don't you
Yeah,
know
a lot
when?
of people had a problem with that.
Don't you know when we used to have a process where you used to get an array of Democratic presidential candidates, and they had to hash it out for us, the American people, to pick the more credible one. For some reason, for the first time in history that I know of, that we wasn't given a choice, or the Democrats wasn't given a choice to a candidate. They was like, here, this is what you get.
Well, whenever you have a sitting president, you really don't. Everybody kind of fall to the side, and he just, I'm gonna run again, and y'all let him or she have her moment. But we never had someone mid race say, "Oh, I'm tapping out," because
Yeah.
Obama did say he wanted a open convention, but due to them changing campaign laws, if they would have did a new vote within their convention and two new people, because of new campaign laws, they would have had to refund all the campaign money they had under Biden Harris and ask for the people to send it back.
All right, do it then. Do what need to be done. Show us the
But
integrity of this administration.
but because her name was on the ticket, she could still have access to it. That's why they needed her to be on the ticket.
Yeah, we see how that worked out.
So they ain't have to do. They just added a VP running mate with her.
We see how that worked. We see how that worked out though. Even when Biden picked her, people was like, "You're making a huge mistake." Nobody liked her even back when Biden picked her, bro.
Yeah, there were grumblings that there was issues with her. People were quitting. Like, okay, that's weird. Then you ain't hear nothing else from her for a while. You know. Then you throw out the race stuff, which is like, okay, we need to stop putting on the black suit when you need a black vote, in my opinion.
Man, they was shucking and driving the whole way through. She became like three different nationalities, man, for votes. She was
Because
switching. She was switching up accents. She was filtering
yeah,
and creating stories. I mean, they pulling stories, photoshopping pictures. She trying to fit in by all means necessary.
now I definitely think it didn't help that you had Obama, who realized you invited to the cookout, but you got a limitation, bro. Who are you telling what to do? You ain't nobody daddy. You or your wife. Now that was a huge. You just help cripple her situation because
Well,
black men across the country, like, who the hell are you talking to?
well, you got to realize that it's not uncommon for the slave master to feel like he owns his slaves. And so, in my opinion, the Democrat, the
He ain't a slave master, man.
in my opinion, the Democratic Party and black people specifically has been married to a Democratic Party, and it's basically it's like they inherited it. People always they just did what they always heard black people should do. And so from the time you were born, you didn't understand politics, but your parents told you, we Democrats, vote Democrat. And so we just had repetitive cycles of people staying loyal to the plantation.
You call it plantation. Now, on the
My
other
man.
side, they would say he lived off the Obama fixing of the economy. Okay, here go, John. All right, sir.
What's up?
All right, get in here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. You hear us?
I can hear you just fine.
And we last just spoke on blacks always being Democrats.
You got a choice, dude. You can choose what you want to be. You want to be a Democrat? You want to be a Republican? It's your choice. Just because somebody say we always been this or we always been that, one, you need to educate yourself as to what they back, what they endorse,
Mhm.
before you say I'm going to be one or the other.
Now,
Now,
what do you think was some of the miscues of the Harris campaign that cost him the election?
can we actually tell the truth about a few things?
Hey, we here talking about it. This is after the results.
How long do you? How long people run for office? They usually have the campaign.
About a year or two.
Okay. Barack Obama had 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 years. She had 90 days.
Okay.
9-0. So I heard you say she was trying to be this, she was trying to be this. What she should have did was just says, you know what? I don't agree with the way they did the border. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. But they say you're supposed to say loyal to your president. She just came straight. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing this. When they asked her some questions about uh, certain issues, hey, look, That was his policy. He was a quarterback. I was a running back. He told me to run this way. He the president. A lot of people don't realize this. When he kept saying, "Oh, Kamala Harris broke this, Kamala Harris broke that," there's one president at a time, not a vice president, bro. Vice
Mm-hmm.
president do what they told. The president is the one that set the agenda. Everybody else just follow. So you say, "Oh, she broke this." She didn't break nothing, dude. She couldn't. She couldn't create policy. She couldn't create laws. Laws are created by Congress.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that say this, or they're the ones that pass this bill or this bill,
Now,
not
do
the
you think
president.
she could
Not
have
the
used
president,
some better wording, not throwing him under the bus, but saying, "Well, we trying to work on some stuff," or something that
bro.
would have gave an answer that
Look,
people
you
feel okay, she answered the question.
no, you need to just come out and say how you feel.
She did. She said
No, she didn't.
exactly how she felt,
Nah, not a lot
and
of stuff she didn't. She didn't say
she's.
how she really felt, dude, because she was trying not to throw her president under the bus.
Go
But
ahead,
if you
Don.
so if you follow her career, and if you follow her conversations, she was pretty consistent. It was pretty obvious that Kamala Harris was in favor of broken down borders. She didn't stand against open borders. She supported open borders. That's why she did
Because her
so much.
president did.
My
She
Hold on, let
point
him
is
did.
this
finish.
though.
Let
She,
him finish.
okay.
My point is that's why she did so much supporting of not only opening the borders, but supporting all of the illegal immigrants once they came in. What would be, why would a country break their borders down? Or if say okay, let's say the administration didn't break the borders down. Say the borders got broken some other kind of way that was beyond the administration's control, which that wasn't the case, but let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and say that's what happened. Why would you then turn around and begin to support illegal immigrants with US taxpayer money and support them and incentivize them to continue to infiltrate and raid our country? Why would that happen?
John.
They raided your country. Is that what you're telling me?
Upwards of 20 million illegal immigrants that we bought and paid for. Why would that happen?
You got the receipts for 20 million people?
Upwards of 20 million. That's the latest estimate from all of the people
Estimate.
who know.
That's a good word. Estimate. Estimate means guess.
Give or take it. Give or
You
take some
don't know.
millions.
You don't know if that's actually 20 million. I'll put you
We
like
know it's a
this.
lot though, right?
I
Can
was
we agree
not
it's
in
a lot?
favor. Hold on. I was not in favor for the whole open border thing. What they should have said was, we have a way where you can become a citizen, and you got to go through the process. It's long and it's lengthy, and you got to follow it. Period. Now you just show up and we're gonna let you come in. No,
Not just that, we're gonna pay you to come here. Let's take it a step further. We're gonna pay you to show up and come in. We're gonna give you health care. We're gonna let you stay free housing. We're gonna fly you around for free.
wait a minute. Hold on. Let's get a lot of this stuff right. The governor of Texas was the one that was flying and busing people out of his state because he was trying to embarrass the other governors to make them take these people.
It
So
worked.
he was the one that was doing this.
No,
Yeah,
no,
the
he
They
sanctuary
were,
cities.
they being the U.S. government, they were not. This was
no,
paid
But
no.
for
it,
by
That
that
the U.S.
tactic,
governor of Texas,
it
that was
did
a
and that
work
was and that was Texas tax dollars,
when
not the U.S. taxpayer.
him and a few other Republican governors did that, and it did have Harris now tweak their viewpoint on it because they even put some at her house, and
They were
it
just
kind of
like,
showing
they were
like,
always going. They were like,
"You want
okay,
them over
you.
here, you take care of them." Like, okay, we got to do something different than what we've been doing because these too many people.
I'll put it to you like this. Now he said there's going to be the largest mass deportation of Mexican Americans, well, Latino or alleged immigrants in history,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what the president-elect said, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know who's an illegal and who's a U.S. citizen?
Should be paperwork, right?
yeah,
No, no,
because
no, no, no,
citizens
Like,
have
no, no.
paperwork.
How do you know? Because
Citizens
they gonna claim your paperwork illegal. And if you
citizens
got
have paperwork.
paperwork, and if they say you got paperwork, this gonna sound just like Nazi Germany when they was running around hollering, "Where's your papers?"
Yeah, but you still got to have paper. Listen, you ever travel to Canada? You ever went to Canada or out of the country?
Yeah,
You know what they require for you to leave the country? They require
I haven't
paperwork.
left. Wait a minute, I haven't left the country in like it'll be a really long time. The last
Yeah,
time
Well,
I
that
went,
is about
the
normal.
last time I went, you just go across the border.
okay, so let me just say this though. I've gone left the country several times in the last few years, and every time paperwork is required. Nobody lets you in their country without paperwork. So that's not a Nazi
I know you need a
Germany
passport.
thing, huh?
They require a passport
But
to
in
show
order to
that you're a
get a pet,
citizen. That you show you're a citizen of the country that you say you're from. Your birth
absolutely,
certificate.
that's paperwork.
Get that. But this is well, okay. So these citizens just running around. How if they ain't? Let's say they got all they valid paperwork because the judge. It was a federal judge who just struck down. You know how normally when you meet somebody, you can marry them and they become a U.S. citizen.
Hmm.
You know about that, right?
We got rid of that law.
Yeah, that shit gone.
Yeah, it need to be gone because under these pretenses, that's just a
No, no,
recipe
no.
for disaster.
Some people actually are tax-paying citizens who married somebody, became American, and they were here legally. They're
When?
like, nope, we ain't doing that no more.
Since when? If they were here legally, they don't need to marry nobody to get
But
citizenship.
if
If
you
they were here
marry some,
legally,
the law was written that if they married somebody, you become a citizen.
right?
That was the law
But I'm saying
passed
though,
by Congress, not
And
by a
that's been
president.
scrutinized for years that people just been hustling that law.
But the thing is now, when they say, okay, we ain't gonna look at that law no more, we're just gonna start sending people back. So you're gonna start sending back entire families.
why do you think?
I'm just sitting back waiting, dude.
Let me just ask you this
I'm
though.
waiting on next year.
Let me just
I'm
ask you
gonna
this.
laugh at everything for everybody that voted and said, yeah, he was gonna do this, he was gonna do that. I'm just waiting for them all to get sent back.
They need to get sent back. Yeah, they need to get sent back. But why do you think that the Biden Harris administration gave them our tax dollars so much when so much so when the hurricane happened in North Carolina, we told our own US citizens that we don't really have money to support this disaster because the FEMA fund is drained. Like so all of the money we supposed to have to take care of our own citizens in the event of a natural disaster. So we giving our own citizens $750 emergency money, but then you got illegal immigrants that's getting thousands of dollars monthly just to eat, let alone health care and let alone housing care. And so why were we giving taxpayer money? Because this was on a federal level. We ain't talking about the governors that decided to try to move illegal immigrants out of their territory. We're talking about federally, they
Let's
incentivized
let's start with
illegal
one thing.
immigrants.
Let's start
Why
one
do you
thing
think
at a
that
time.
happened?
Hold on, let's start one thing at a time. So again, Congress is the one that funds the government, right?
Hmm.
No,
We established it
no,
already.
no. You got
Yeah,
to take. You got no. You
no.
have to. You have to take into account. You have to take.
Congress.
Hold on. Hold on.
Okay, I'm
You
listening.
you have to take into account that we have a new season that executive orders has subjugated the whole system, and many of executive order have pushed past the normal way that our process should have worked. Do we agree on that? That executive orders just subjugated the system and they do what they want to do right away?
They can try, but
No, 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 no.
Congress,
They do.
no.
Every president has done it.
Congress still holds the purse strings. You can say my executive order is this, and they can look at you and be like, "We ain't gonna fund it."
But they did fund it though.
You got a Republican-led Congress and a Democratic president. They fought tooth and nail over a lot of stuff. They kicked the can down. You can shake your head if you want to. You can go look this up.
We sent
I'm just
Zelensky.
telling you.
I'm just
I've been
saying.
laughing because
We sent
Congress
Zelensky
holds
billions
the
and
wallet.
billions of dollars.
Congress holds the wallet. They
But
did
they
not want to fund all these disasters. They was like, okay, it's going to increase by like 20%. What they do? We're going to put a
why did they
stopgap
fund
measure
the
in place
immigrants?
to fund the government and kick the can down the road 6 more months. This has
Why
been
I
did
going
they
do
on for
fund the
think it
immigrants?
was
3 years.
The
a bad
question is why
idea.
did they fund illegal immigrants? That's the question. That's what you're not answering. Why did we
Why
give
did they
our tax
fund?
money to immigrants? Why are we taking care of
I'm just,
immigrants? Why can't you
I,
answer that question?
I'm not a senator, dude, or a representative.
Do you agree that we're using tax money for immigrants? Do you agree?
I didn't write the budget, bro. I don't know.
No, they did do that. This is factual.
Okay, if they did, hold on, we really gonna talk about this. If
Yeah,
they
they
did
did
this,
actually.
if they're actually paying for illegal immigrants to be here, okay, that's part of the problem that people were pissed off about because they're like, why are they living better than me?
That was a huge
Is
problem.
is that not the beef?
That's why we see a Kamala Harris with the level of support that she got. She still didn't make it because those issues. And what was her solution for those kind of issues? What was her talking points on handling that? How you gonna bring down inflation? Well, first of all, we can stop giving money away. That would help. We can so there were several things that again the Democratic Party was directly responsible for that, in my opinion, weakened our country more in 3.5 years than in my entire lifetime. I
How?
think our country is worse off now than we've ever been globally.
How so,
Now,
Doc?
How?
because I mean, we have positionally we are 33 plus trillion dollars in debt.
Mm-hmm.
Our global standing is diminishing like fast. You
What do you
have the
mean?
BRICS. You
What do
have
you mean
BRICS.
global standing?
Our global positioning as a superpower and as a force to be reckoned with. Our global positioning is diminished greatly because of the weakness of this administration that we now have. The BRICS nations have formulated plans to literally overthrow the United States of America, and they're gaining a lot of traction and doing a pretty good job.
Overthrow the U.S. government. How?
The US, no, the US dollar, which is our bread and butter, that's our whole foundational standing globally, is our US dollar. The thing that makes us who we are is because the dollar is the world currency. Well, it used to be the world currency, which
That's
is
not correct.
fast. Huh?
That's not correct. But go ahead.
Hold on, correct me then, because
The
where am I
U.S.
missing that
dollar,
at?
the U.S. dollar been strong in like 25 years.
It's still the world. It still was
No,
recent
it
the world
wasn't.
currency. So
It
what's the
wasn't.
world currency? What's the world currency?
They moved to a euro. The euro dollar that was stronger than U.S. dollar.
But it's
You
not the
used to be
world
able to,
currency.
you used to be able to go to you used to be able to go to Canada and spend more in Canada with the U.S. dollar. You can't do that no more. This has been over like 20, 25 years, bro.
Yeah, but the US
It's
dollar is
greatly
still the world
been.
currency.
It's not the dollar. It's gold, which is what backs the U.S. dollar. That's been the thing.
It doesn't back the US dollar.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't.
Dollar. You can print. They can sit there and print money all day. You got to have something to back it.
Now the world still use our dollar as the currency. I just looked
It
it
is.
up to verify.
It does. I mean, I know
It's
this. That
dwindling in its value,
it's
which other
terrible.
countries have been talking to do a move around, but no one it ain't been finalized. But it has been talked to other countries to do that.
You gonna watch this thing drop. You watch. I'm gonna sit back. Hold on.
Now,
Let
what
me
do you
make sure
mean
I don't
by
fall.
drop?
U.S. dollar's gonna drop, dude. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
been
been dropping.
declining forever.
Hmm.
No, it's
It
about
is
to
not going.
crumble.
It is not
It's
going to
gonna
be the end
crumble.
all, beat all that it
It,
used to be.
No,
They're gonna move. They're gonna move to cryptocurrency. They're gonna move to all
Donald
these other. They're gonna move to all these other ways to pay. When they
Donald
started
Trump already
moving,
said that.
because they've been talking about for the longest that okay, we're gonna move to when Cash App and everything else popped up. It was like okay, I don't have to have a dollar no more. I can just send you money
Why do you think more black people voted for Trump this election cycle than last time? How did he double?
because his
The,
name was because they equated that. You know what? When he was in office, and I heard so many people tell me this, I had more money in my check. That's what I was told. I was sitting there like, oh, okay.
yeah, a lot of people I know that voted for Trump said the same thing. Like
hmm
it was better when he was in charge.
When he was in charge,
America was greater.
can I inform you of something?
Now I know that was the Obama economy he lived
It
under.
Nah,
was
nah,
you. You're living in the Trump economy right now.
nah,
It's almost over with.
nah,
Then it's gonna be Joe Biden's economy in 4 years.
nah.
Yeah, it is.
It's not true.
It
No, that's
is.
actually accurate.
That's
It-
factual.
it's not
The,
accurate.
It's
The
a
stuff he
fact.
put into place.
It's not accurate.
You can shake your head and say that's not.
It's
It's
not.
the truth.
I
But it's
can
the same thing with George
I can
W.
I can dispel
Same.
that notion right now. I can
No, you
dispel that.
can't. You can.
Yes,
You can
I
try.
can. I can. It's
How?
not accurate.
How?
The accurate information is the fact when Biden came in, and Biden, as soon as Biden was elected president, they say we saw global markets shift drastically. Why? Because Biden was already being groomed to adopt the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal is where we effectively took all of our energy strengths and we trashed them to adopt going green. And so we got rid of fossil fuels, we got rid of our oil, all of our global energy that we were actually dang near energy independent under the Trump administration. We were literally for the first time we were literally shipping oil as an export.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
No,
wait
you
Go
till
ahead.
you
listen.
finish.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just listening.
Yeah, we were
I'm sorry.
literally, we were for the first time, we were shipping oil as an export. We were so energy independent during that process because, and then when Biden came in, he literally crumbled our strongest positioning by scrapping the oil industry and the fossil fuels and all of that. And so we immediately we became weakened as an economy and we became weakened as an industry. Our whole nation did, and that took effect immediately. These high prices, the fact that my mortgage under the Biden administration went from $1,300 to $1,900. I'm paying
Damn.
six. I'm paying $6 more for the same house. Yeah, that's
Let me ask you a
Bidenomics.
question.
That's Bidenomics.
What type
That
of
ain't got
mortgage do
nothing
you
to
have?
do with Trump.
If you don't mind me asking, what type of mortgage do you have? Is it an adjustable rate mortgage?
No, it's not.
You
My
got a you got a fixed rate mortgage?
Yep, it's fixed rate.
That don't make sense.
Exactly. Neither do these prices we're experiencing.
That don't make sense. But okay.
Now I did notice how I found it weird, but it's politics, I guess. The last 2 weeks of the election, you start seeing commercials for Harris. I'm gonna go after people price gouging for the food and the gas, so your last be a little easier. And we all know ever since Corona, everybody been trying to get their money back they lost. So the
You're gonna
fact
never get
that you
that back.
made commercials for it, what has been the issue to stop them the last 3 years of doing it? Because to make that commercial says you do see people are doing this,
They
and
say
you
it's
ain't been on their
they
head.
say that's capitalism at its best. They have the right to sit back and set a price for a product, and you as a consumer have the choice whether you want to buy it or not. There was a guy that was out by the airport. Gas prices was like $3. He was
Mhm.
charging $5.50. News people showed up and they're like, "Your price gouge, it's too high." He was like, "You ain't got to come here, so you can go back down the road. I
Now
have the right."
see,
No, he said, "I have the right to
now
sit
see,
back and charge what I charge."
that's not totally true
What you mean it's
because
not totally true?
when we got attacked in 9/11, the gas stations on Finkel and Myers was doing that. They were trying to make you be like $7 because cars was everywhere trying to go get gas. And the governor at the time came out, I think Granholm someone, and Attorney General, we will
She sucked.
prosecute
She
you.
sucked anyway, bro.
Yeah, but they came out, we will prosecute you if you try to price gouge with gas when we don't have a gas.
During during this
It's
time.
called it's
And
called
they
price
During this
fix.
stopped.
time.
It's called price fixing. It's illegal.
They stopped. Because they
Gas
were straight
stations don't
trying to
set the
put
price.
$7 for regular. And it was going to cause chaos. And they stopped. So
That
the
guy
government can't, in situations, stop.
you
Gas
said the
Regardless of
stations.
government
that
in
magnitude.
situation. So okay, in situation. So if using y'all premise, when what COVID happened, gas prices dropped down to what 199, 197, something like that.
They're down to
Right,
150. Wasn't nobody going nowhere.
right. That's supply and demand.
No
And the moment,
demand.
and the
No
moment they
demand. Cheap
started,
supply.
and the moment they started opening back up, what did they start doing? They started raising the price back up. Didn't nobody say nothing then. They was like, oh man, okay, they made you accept this is what the price of gas is gonna be. It's gonna be between 290 and 350. And you pissed off when you pull into the station, but guess what? Ain't no mass protests about that. They like, hey government, you ain't telling them that, hey, this ain't right. They like, hey, it's capitalism. They have the right,
Yeah,
given the market,
they
to
allowed them to
charge
get their money
you
back.
what they want. So then they said, okay, you know, if you know anything about economics, if
Mm-hmm.
the price of gas go up, everything else gonna go up, right? Because now it costs more money to transport that good or that service from one place to another.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay the person more money to show up, to sit there and work. Because guess what? He was an essential worker. So when you say you want all the prices, well, you want services and all these other good things, they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna pass this on to who? The consumer. So when they
Yeah.
start talking about they're gonna charge you a tariff for something, you think all this stuff ain't gonna go up to a ridiculous price? Because the United States does not make anything anymore.
No.
Everything is imported
And that's
from
another thing.
China, Taiwan, Vietnam, every little small place they can. It's all sent here now. We don't make nothing really.
That's
Let
another
me
thing that hurt her
let,
campaign.
let, let me
Complain
show you
about.
the let me show you the strength of a Trump presidency. Um, John Deere recently announced that they were shipping their manufacturing to Mexico. Trump,
Mm-hmm.
not even the president, just President-elect Trump said, you ship them jobs out of this country, 200% tariffs. You won't sell neither one of them in here. And so John Deere, they recanted their whole business strategy and they kept them jobs here. Same thing when he was president, and
Didn't they say this? Didn't they say this about
Ford threatened to do the same thing. Ford was like they were shipping all of these jobs to Mexico. Trump said, "Do it," and watch what happened. And they changed strategies, and they kept those jobs here.
I want you to add this same energy in 2 years when you sit back like, damn, all this stuff is too expensive to use. A lot of people gonna find out in 2 years how crazy it's gonna get
We finding that out now, bro. Things are too expensive now.
because
People
of
can't
the
afford it
stuff
now, bro. What do
you're
you mean?
living through. The Trump.
But see
This is all
now,
the policy.
Nah.
This is everything that he
now,
did when he was in
but
office
see that's the
the first
problem.
time.
That even at the election, that made her look foolish. She started ranting and raving, saying how your tariffs on China screwed up inflation, blah blah blah. And he responded, "But you still kept it in place for 3 years." And she changed the subject. The people didn't
They
force her to
should.
answer the
You know what?
question. That just made her whole thing
What
look
they should
stupid.
have did
Because they were
if
incompetent.
they saw
Biden is
that
senile and
if they saw
Harris is
hold on
ignorant.
if they
I ain't gonna
saw
say that because they
that
president vice
any of
president.
No,
these
no. When
if
I
they
say
saw
ignorant, ignorant means you lack knowledge. She literally was ignorant of politics, bro. She lacked knowledge severely. That's why she couldn't go on the fly and answer simple questions. What would you do to lower inflations? I was raised in a middle class family. Everybody had nice grass. Okay, all right. That's what we get. That's ignorant, man. She never answered. She never answered a single question about what her even this is check this out. She was so out of touch. She thought that all she had to do was dangle the master. All master had to do was call some celebrities and dangle some booties and shake some booties and play some hype music and tell black people what they need to do. And that was gonna be enough to make people jump on board and vote for all of the emptiness of her campaign. And then everybody who was like, I'm with her, I'm with her. You had people going out doing independent interviews of Harris supporters, and they repeatedly asked Harris supporters this question. They said, what is her what is a favorite policy that you like of hers that really is encouraging you to vote for her? And when people would ask that question, they were like, I'm just with her. I just don't like Trump. And so the majority of all of the support she did get wasn't because she was a suitable candidate. It was because people didn't like Trump. Literally, all the votes she got was because of Trump. I just don't like him, so I'm voting for her, even though I don't know what she's about because she don't even know what she's
I
about.
like the fact that she was trying to make a lot of people homeowners. If she was gonna infuse this where builders were gonna start being able to build homes and make them affordable for individuals, I was like, okay, because the price of housing, like you just said, is ridiculous now. And you a homeowner, so you got to think about somebody that's trying to buy a house.
They ain't gonna be
They
able to
really
afford
ain't
it.
got no path
They ain't gonna
to
be able to
nothing.
afford it. They ain't gonna be able to afford it. She gonna give them 25,000 to get a house they can't afford.
But what they're supposed to do, they're supposed to
Giving
match
people
your
money, giving people down payment
no.
money, do not allow them to afford what a house actually costs. So that was a stupid. That's a stupid
If the
plan.
house if the house costs, like, okay, let's say in the city of Detroit, most homes, depending on where you go, not all of them are 100,000. They're not all 100,000,
Yeah,
depending on what area you want to go to.
in
Yeah.
any
So
area.
a $25,000 down payment is cool, but you still got to actually bring some skin to the game. You actually got to have a sustainable income to keep the house. You can't just say,
But if you
okay,
get in a house that's like 50 some thousand, what is the crime like in that area?
Exactly. Nobody's wanting that for their friend. So that was the one plan that she did mention, which I thought was a failed. It was a failed attempt. It was a failed plan. To it's cool to give people support, but there's programs now that support people in home ownership. The problem is not home ownership. The problem is inflation. The problem is there's no regulations on people. Do you know that right now that Mark that 45% of private homes are owned by the what they call the venture capitalist
yeah,
funds. Venture capitalists have purchased almost 50% of all available housing in this country. That should be illegal.
Yeah,
yep.
banks. A lot of them started doing
They
that a few
call it
years ago.
they call
There
that
should be
capitalism,
regulations
dude.
against that because they're the ones that's driving prices to unreachable
They call
places.
that capitalism.
But my point is, like when people are trying to purchase homes, I found this when we bought our condo. We were out and people was outbidding asking prices by like 20, 30 grand over asking price cash.
Damn.
That those are not normal homeowners. Those are not normal families attempting to gain housing. Those are market. I mean, those are these are these financial conglomerates that are going out and just hoarding all of the livable houses,
Yeah.
and they're driving prices, they're making houses unaffordable, and they're making it hard to get. So if you're not approaching that from a policy standpoint, talking about throwing a couple of dollars at somebody is not going to fix the problem. And so when Trump was in office and his whole thing was America first. The first thing Trump did, and this is what when Trump originally ran for president, I thought that he was a clown because he was an idiot. I do agree Trump is an idiot. I don't like him as a person because he's an idiot.
The first thing we agree on.
And,
Okay.
and, and so the reality is, as a person, he truly is an idiot, and he talks like a third grader, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's against him. So that part's clear. So I didn't vote for him when he first ran, but after he actually became president, and I saw the policies that he enacted, I was very much surprised, and that's what encouraged me to vote for him the second time around. The America First standpoint. He took us out of the Paris climate accord, which was just the United States being like the world bully. He said we ain't doing. He took us out of NATO. He's like we not governing the world no more. Every man for themselves. America first. We do us. Y'all do y'all. Everybody got to pay their fair share. And so he took, I mean, that kind of a stance really strengthened us as a nation as it came to our overextending ourselves militarily, as we overextended ourselves financially. He actually started bringing money in and making people pay us for who we were. And so that kind of thing is what I think
Did he
really,
did he make Mexico pay for that wall?
I don't think they did end up paying for that wall, but the
No.
fact, the fact that he wanted a wall was encouraging that we had a presidency that wanted to protect our borders to keep us sovereign and safe. instead of tearing our borders down and letting every country around the world empty their prisons and just send them over here. Yeah, so I like that position a lot more that we were even talking about building a wall.
That's what the king did when the citizens first got here. That was the whole thing. That's how most of these Americans, that's what their lineage is. They're the people, the dregs of society that was sent here because they wanted to just get rid of their prisons in England to begin with. So the people who founded the country, yeah, they were all those people anyway. But the thing is now, to try and sit back and tell people, you know what? America is the greatest country in the world. I really want to quote the newsroom
Yeah, I wouldn't say that at all.
because we really, we like so low in all these other factors now.
We
There's a
on our
lot of
way
stuff
out,
that we
bro.
ain't first in.
We about to crumble, bro. This country done.
No, we ain't done. This is, there's a lot of people who, if we were done, we'd have
We
been done a while ago.
no,
It
we
had
about
happened
to
during COVID.
we
It
about to
happened
be
during any of
done.
these catastrophes that we went through. But it's too many people that's got stuff invested in the United States because they know
Who?
they can make
Who?
money.
Who?
There are a lot of countries that have a vested interest in the survival of the United States, and we them. When they came up with this global economy, that's when it became different.
Yeah,
Do
When it
you want
wasn't
everybody
just
blink.
when it wasn't just us and it was everybody, that's when the game changed.
do you guys have you guys ever heard of George Soros
Hmm.
or Klaus Schwab? You know who Klaus Schwab is? The guy who heads up
Yeah.
the World Economic Forum, the guy who keeps conducting these secret meetings in Davos where all of the world leaders come together and strategize on how they're going to continue to push this globalist agenda. Have you ever heard of globalist?
Yeah.
I'm just listening to you.
So globalists
Educate the people.
globalists are people who have an invested interest of no country having sovereignty because the powers that be, they want one blanket over all territory and all land. They want the globe to be ran by one system. And so biblically, even if you want to, from politically to biblically, the Bible already confirms that we will have a one world government, there will be a one world religion. And so this whole oneness is being galvanized right in our lifetime. And a lot of what we're seeing is leaders of these countries that are coming and falling under the leadership of the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization, and they're giving over sovereignty to their countries to be ran by a conglomerate of powers. And that's why when you look at even our economy, out of all of the companies and corporations we have in the United States, everything here, 88% of our corporations and companies are owned by three companies. And these three companies are owned by the same people. You got BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. If you Google any company and look at the parent company of any corporation, you're going to see BlackRock, State Street, or Vanguard. These are the three corporations that basically own our whole economy. And so my point was that is that already the 1% of all wealth holders control everything. And so that's just a matter of time before that plays out on our own geographical standing global positioning as a country. And so I think that that's what we're seeing right now.
I'm waiting to
Now,
see. I'm waiting to see his cabinet that he picked.
now, do y'all think either party will start training up some potential good leaders for 28?
Here's the thing, and
Hmm.
they
I
need somebody
don't think so.
who's gonna break the mold.
So we can't keep doing the grandparents, man.
No, they need
No.
somebody that's gonna break the mold, dude. Somebody that's okay. I don't want to be like this. We need to be like this. If now a lot of people, what they told, well, what I saw, and people I was speaking to, they said was a few things that they didn't like that he spoke up about. And in the Wayne, the last 2 3 weeks of the campaign, when they released that ad about they didn't like transgender people, They didn't want their money to go to this. They didn't want it to go to this.
Yeah, we ain't trying to pay for sex changes for prisoners.
I did see that commercial.
I was just like, okay, politics used to be civil, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time where I could sit back, and I had a lot of friends that were Republicans, and we could sit down, we can talk, we can debate issues back and forth, and nobody was ever like, okay, he didn't want to fight. I didn't think they was an idiot, nothing like that. It was like, okay, they gave me valid reasons why their guy policies were going to be effective. They could tell me, okay, it's going to affect this, and this.
We got away from that.
No, we got way away.
No, we ran away from it.
Did y'all see the vice presidential debate?
That was a good debate.
That was amazing. That was amazing. That was really,
a policy
really
debate.
That's
what we want to do. Well, this
that's
what we
the way
do.
it's supposed to be. That was
straight
policy.
Good.
That was two guys going at policy and agenda as to what they thought.
Respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
When nobody yelling at each other, when nobody looking at each other sideways. Now, this isn't a prediction. This is a spoiler for all the people who are watching.
Okay, wise man.
Come on, Nostradamus.
12 months after his inauguration, they're going to invoke the 25th Amendment, and J.D. Vance is going to be the president of the United States. Then he's going to pick who his vice president is.
What do you mean the 25th Amendment?
Well,
you don't know what the 25th? Okay.
No, 25th Amendment.
If the president becomes incapacitated, debilitated, or they think he has reasonable mental defect, his cabinet can all vote. His cabinet now. These are people he's going to
pick. They all got to sign on the paper.
They can all get together and say, hey, this dude's crazy.
That's what's about to happen to Biden right now.
We don't think he got it. He can't do it. And they can all sign off and say, we're going to remove him from office peacefully. And the vice president is going to be the president.
Yeah, then they get sworn in.
And he gets sworn in, and he has to have his vice presidential pick. If he picks one, confirmed by Congress.
And an example is anybody watching.
The Speaker of the House is not automatically going to be the vice president. That does not work that way.
And for anybody watching or to watch the replay, an example of this was the Harrison Ford movie, Air Force One, when his family got taken hostage and Glenn Close was the VP. And they felt because of him being under arrest with his family being hostage, he couldn't make valid decisions for the government. So they put her in place as president. Everybody signed the paper, she got sworn in.
No,
that's an example of the 25th.
No, bro. They was going to. She tore it up. She didn't accept it.
I thought she had signed it.
No, she never signed it.
Okay.
They all signed it. She did.
Yeah, they all did sign it. I thought she did sign it.
Everybody in his cabinet signed it except her. She said, I'm not ready to take the responsibility of being president because I still have one president. And that was.
Yeah, you're right. She was loyal. But in real life, if that happened, she's going to sign the papers because we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Right.
That's our motto.
Think so. I'm one of them guys. I don't think so. I think that the global powers that be will not allow a Trump presidency. I am not convinced at all that we'll even reach.
He won. They got to let him in.
Listen, I know he won, bro. I hear that part. This is just me. I'm going on record. I'm live. I'm going on record. I'm saying that I don't even believe that he'll actually get that there will be no transfer of power to Donald Trump. That's me.
No.
I just believe that there's so much at stake. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Let me step in. They're going to do the transfer of power because if I got to make sure I say this right. Let's say we're going to if this like it's a movie. What happens if President-elect Trump and J.D. Vance both get clipped at the same time? The United States is at war.
That's going down. That's the point.
During wartime, there can be no transition of power.
That's the point, bro.
So guess who?
That's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
The one that lost.
That's what's going to happen, bro.
Joe Biden will still be in power.
That's what's going to happen. That's all I'm saying.
But he he's
Kamala
on his
Harris.
back end, so it'll be her.
It's gonna be her.
It will be her.
It's
They
still gonna be
forced him
her.
to start running. They're like, we ain't telling the people something ain't right, so we need someone else.
So I'm gonna throw y'all another little freebie in there real quick. It ain't a bad idea to have you a little bit of water, a little bit of food, a little something stocked up because Obama made a movie and he wanted us to know that leaving Earth behind might consist of some what you call some casualties in our civilization that we might it might be something going on with the civilization. Just like that law I just told you about, Jeff. They just passed that law to give the military a green light to do whatever they got to do to American citizens in the event of an uprising. Trust me, the stage is already set, bro.
Oh, I'm looking at it. Given stuff that happened last time, it would look bad if anything is not above approach from the Democratic side to pass the football over to Trump and his people.
They don't care about it looking bad. They want it
They're
to
gonna
look
no,
bad.
it's gonna happen, man. They're gonna do the
Because that's the biggest
inauguration.
thing with the whole attack on the Capitol.
Y'all remember y'all heard it here first, baby.
They're gonna do the inauguration, and in less than 6 months, they're gonna vote the 25th. JD Vance gonna be the president, and then it's gonna be different.
He ain't gonna even
And everybody
make
gonna
it
be
in.
looking like, well, how is he? Everybody, all those people who didn't do their high school or their middle school civics lesson, you heard it here first.
That means they tried to take Trump out twice, which is historic.
No,
Crazy.
man, let me tell you something. Hold on.
Crazy.
Let me.
Not only that, now they saying they uncovered a plot that Iran likewise had
I heard about that.
had some
I saw it.
assassination process going on. And why would this man be so anyway, I ain't gonna even get into that part because I think we all understand that. But he's talking about bringing on Robert F. Kennedy as what the as the health advisor. What's that cabinet? What's that
He's an
position called?
idiot, man. Department of Health and Human Services.
That dude
Robert
is real.
Kennedy.
You need
Dude,
someone
Robert
that deal
Kennedy.
with health to be over there, in my opinion.
hold on, time out. So y'all saying that who's in that position right now? Who's currently holding that position?
Let's find out.
Current health. What's the name of the department?
Health and Human Services.
No, that's not it. The world.
It's not the World Health Organization, bro.
No, it's not that. I know who that is. I know who that is. That's the
Xavier Becerra. He's the 25th United States Secretary of Health and Human Services since March 19, 2021. First person of Hispanic descent to hold the post.
That's him. They tried to impeach him too.
Do you got a background in health? I mean, to me, you supposed to have a background in that stuff, in my opinion. I would assume he got a background in health because that would make more sense.
He's supposed to prepare and respond to public health and medical emergencies.
Yeah, you need to have some degrees and done some health stuff, in my opinion, to be able to start.
Did you click his name to see what he's done?
What's his history?
Hold on.
Get to know your secretary. What is his background?
And I don't know how to find it.
Xavier.
They said throughout his career he was trying to make sure they got affordable health care.
He's a lawyer and politician.
Let's see. They all are. Because you need to be able to write a law and interpret it.
What's that person's name again?
Xavier.
Xavier.
Becerra.
No. That ain't who I'm talking about. Rachel Levine, bro.
Who's that?
Yeah, type in Rachel Levine. That's the one Biden chose to put in his cabinet.
No, she's assistant secretary for health and human services. She's not the director.
Nah, she ain't. That ain't her. That's she an assistant pimp. She ain't the
It ain't
main
no
bro.
her. That's a he, bro.
Whoever. It ain't. It ain't. He. This individual is not in charge.
No.
Xavier is.
Secretary of Health. This
Yeah,
Xavier
person
Xavier.
make
is.
this person making a lot of decisions as the assistant secretary of health for sure. Very instrumental in our
And
health. In
the
our
secretary is the
why
one
do you think all of
who
the
says
transgender
yay or
ideology?
nay.
Why do you think all of the transgender ideology is so important to our country all of a sudden? You don't think this assistant health advisor being transgender got nothing to do with that?
Well, that's been an agenda since the Obama administration
Come on,
with their rights and issues.
we giving 5 year olds the right to say they want to be a different sex, bro. And then in California, as a parent, the teachers don't even tell you. Gavin Newsom, being one of these globalist puppets, is turning California into like a different type of country. Like it ain't even in the
Now,
United
the
States.
schools wanted to tell the parents, but he vetoed the bill for that.
And why do you come on? Why would we do that as a country? As a state in this country, why would we want to take parental rights away from parents concerning their children? Who
They
does
did that a
that?
long time ago, dude.
No, no, it ain't no they. It ain't no they. Why do
No,
you think?
the
What?
U.S. government when they started saying, okay, one can't
Do
beat
you?
your kid no more.
First of
No,
all, do
hold
you
on, hold on,
support this
hold on.
policy? Hold on,
Let's go
do
back.
you
Let's go
support that
backwards.
policy before you explain
Let's
it?
go backwards.
Do you support it before you explain it? Do you support
Support
that?
what?
Do you
Not letting the
support?
parents know.
Do you support take keeping parents from knowing about the well-being of their children and then taking the children if the parents don't agree? Because that's what they're
No,
doing. Okay, so
no. The
because
parent. Okay, look.
that's a
The
Biden Harris.
parent.
That's a Biden
The
Harris
parent. Hold
piece.
on. The parent is the one that's gonna raise their kid. The parent should have the right to help, grow, and discipline their kids as they see fit. The
Mm-hmm.
problem has been that the government, no matter what party it is,
Biden and Harris.
has gotten in the middle of telling
But let's
parents
say
what they
let's say
can
who it
and
is though.
cannot do.
Biden
Period.
and Harris though. That's this
Dude,
administration.
this has been going on longer than Biden and Harris. You can
Give me give me
because
give me another policy where that
we in
existed.
this right now.
Give
The
me another
Clinton era
policy
during
under any other president.
during I mean
Clinton, you couldn't beat your kids. I do remember that.
you they kept telling
George
you
W. You couldn't beat your kids.
everybody kept telling you what you can and cannot do to your kids.
Yeah, in public.
I don't remember another piece of legislator that came
Mm-hmm.
across saying that.
No, that's true.
I don't
I'm
remember.
telling you,
They've been
man.
on this for a minute. Where
This has been
Pe-
this
People been
take them
disciplining their
home
kids since I can
and beat
remember.
them. Don't do it in public.
they've been honing in on parental rights for the last 20-25 years,
Not
telling
to this
parents
egregious level.
telling telling
No,
parents yes telling parents
no.
what you can't.
Yeah.
When
Now they
have
have
you
been doing
ever?
that
Hold
under
on. So
Republican and Democratic presidents.
no,
This has been
come
the
on. That
mandate. Yes.
no, it has
Under
not.
George W. Yes.
Well, give me the mandate under George W. Give me the policy
It's
under
this.
George W.
It's the
Come
same
on,
mandate.
come on.
I
What's it
forgot what
called?
they called it.
Yeah, let's
Where
find. Let's come on. We got the
if
internet.
you used
Let's
to
find it.
beat your kid in public, they would consider that abuse. It
I think
started
that
under.
makes sense. If you beat your kid, that sounds like abuse to
Nah,
me.
if you took your hand and smacked their butt, they labeled all that abuse in public.
Let's find that. Let's find that law. What law
That
was that?
go back in the 90s. That's when it first started under Clinton, and it carried on from that point. They would throw out there, well, if you at home, we can't regulate nothing, but in public, you can't whoop your kid. Any form of whooping, smacking their hand, smacking their butt with your hand, belt, all that was deemed.
Remember back in the day, you can go to school, tell the teacher, hey, I need a room. They tighten their kid up, send them back to class.
Yeah, they deemed all that abuse.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I'm just
because
trying to find.
you
I'm just
got
trying to
some
find the law.
people doing too
I'm just
much.
trying to find where the law came from and what the law called it.
Yeah, but you should be able to find it because it's been going on since Clinton up till now. And they did any form of whooping your kid as abuse in public. Because you got some that overdo it. So, they just do a blanket,
When
don't
they
do it.
got when they got
I
into
don't.
telling people what you
I don't
can and
see it.
cannot do with your kids, that's when the problem started.
And so
Mhm.
you think
Because
that that's
that
equivalent,
ain't they look, that is not, you have the right to raise your kids as you see fit, as long as you not abusing them.
right? So you think that whipping your child is equivalent to letting your child get a sex change
That's
at
two different
as a
things,
child.
Donzel, and you know it. That's
I,
two
so
different
so
things.
but
That's
that's the point
two
I'm making.
different things.
That's what I
You should
said. I
a
said I
child a
said
child that's 5 years old, as you
right.
stated, should not even be thinking about, oh, I think I'm this. They need
But
to
that's what
sit
I'm
back and
saying.
realize, okay, they need to ex- I can't even say explore it. It's a lot of these things they do now that I'm like, okay, I
So
totally
that's what
don't
I'm
agree.
saying though. Under this administration, this is a Biden Harris administration that is promoting these kinds of policies. And what I'm asking is, as people that we're voting for, we tried to get this person back in office that's clearly prying and overstepping their boundaries, telling me as a parent that I don't have autonomy over my children. That I mean, if unless this is the only time I got control over a child is if I want to kill it before it's born. As long as you want to kill it before it's born, your body, your choice, go for it. More power to you to kill it. But if you want to raise it in a certain way and you don't want to buy into the LGBTQIA plus agenda, then no, you can't stand against that choice. They'll send child protective services to challenge your parental rights for against your child. Come on, man. That's not egregious more than we've ever seen in our lifetime.
But that was this not just the Biden, the Harris administration.
Yes, it
Some of them
is.
stuff started under Obama administration. So it ain't just this one now.
Not to that level where child protective services come into
Yeah,
play.
But it started though.
you got to
Before
always
it ain't just on Biden's
Yeah,
you
footstep. It
always
I'm
started
go
saying,
back. You
okay, all
always
I'm
go back
saying
to the
is
source, man.
it may have started, but we see it progressively getting worse. Why
Yeah.
would we want to continue to give those kind of people power to enact those kind of egregious laws? Is my point.
Well, because some people on that side of the aisle will look at it as, well, if democracy is choice. The way you're talking, that's dictatorship. I can't be me under your world.
Ain't that what Biden showed us when the vaccine mandates got handed down? When it was like my body, my choice, as long as I want to kill a baby, but I don't want to get this medical procedure, or you lose your tenure as a 30-year veteran in the army, or you get fired, or you get kicked out because you really don't have a choice. Either you do it or you pay the consequence. Wasn't that a Biden administration position to coerce
Situation of the
people?
country.
Huh?
Some don't seem to be situational, oddly.
So as long as it's situational, it's okay to infringe upon our rights. As long as I don't understand it. I don't understand the double standard.
But there is one. Like, if the world is in peril, they would invoke certain stuff. Like, yeah, I get you got this, but right now, Ebach is about to kill everything out here, and you need to take this pill. Take the pill, young young.
And
Governments would
that
invoke that.
and so it's
It ain't
okay.
right under the
Look,
Okay,
democracy.
that's what I'm trying
the
to see. Is it right
pandemic,
or not? Is
the
these the kind of
pandemic.
people?
Hold on,
Is
the
these the kind of
pandemic
people we want leading?
was once in 100 years, so they say. So when they say, Operation Warp Speed was developed by then President Trump.
Absolutely,
Okay, the virus
absolutely.
was developed by then President Trump,
No, false.
not him personally, but under
Yeah,
his administration. They funded it.
yeah. Dr. Fauci for sure.
A black woman is the one who actually came up with the cure for all those who want to know.
Cure for what?
The vaccine.
They already proved that it's not a cure. It wasn't even necessary. That's already been proven.
The vaccine. See, okay, there are not cures for diseases. There are vaccines. You can get vaccinated. It will lower your symptoms. You won't die. But no, there are no cures for really anything that they've actually released to the general public. I'm quite sure there are cures for all types of things, but the actual treatment, they make more money on treating something versus curing something. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if there was cures for all these other life-ending illnesses, I'm quite sure somebody's figured out how to cure it.
So if they were so,
But they
if they,
make more money on treating
okay, I agree with you on there. And
it.
so, and
I
so,
mean,
since when did
if
the government? Since when did the government come so involved, and when did they care about the citizens so much that they was willing to give free medical attention to save your life? Right? Do we agree that's what they said they were doing? They were offering people free medical attention to save their life, right?
the vaccine you're talking about,
Yeah.
did
And
they say
so
it was free?
for some reason, out of all of the things that kill Americans, like this is the only one you can have free. We'll give you this one for free, and you better take it or else. But if you need it, but they wasn't passing out insulin. Man, tons of people died from a lack of insulin. I bet you don't get that free. They ain't passing out chemotherapy free. There nothing else in the medical arena can you get free
Two things can be
to
equally
save your
true.
life. Huh?
Two things can be equally true. You have a point, and when a pandemic arises, they're trying to get that
Eradicated
out the board, even
because
though it may infringe on rights. But they're trying to. This is a more pertinent problem that we got. Not saying you don't have a point. Two things are true. And a lot of people felt and said what you said, and people try to call them,
yeah,
but they did have a point.
I've heard this. I've made this argument with. I've heard people make the same argument, went back and
Mm-hmm.
forth. This is one of the things I'm like, you know what? If you're an anti-vax, meaning you believe that the whole pandemic didn't exist, Robert F. Kennedy, and you think that, oh well, it was some government conspiracy to kill a bunch of people. Okay, that's your right as an American citizen. I can't tell you how to think.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's watching this, I can't tell you how to think. But when you sit back, you start asking people who's lost loved ones because of COVID, and they told them people, hey, they died because of this. They don't think it's fake. They know it's real. And when they told them, hey, you can take this vaccine and it's going to help you, you won't one be as sick. And they always led with a disclaimer: you probably won't die from it. That's what they said. Probably won't
Mm-hmm.
die from it. It'll give you a fighting chance. A lot of
So
people said, okay, they were going to do it, but a lot of these places became like incubators, like the plant, uh, various buildings, places you went and you worked at. Because if you sneeze, if you ever watched that movie, what was it? Dang it, with the monkey,
Oh,
Outbreak.
yeah, outbreak.
If you sit in the building and somebody sneezes and they go to the ventilation system, now everybody in that building they may or may not have what you got. Now you
Think Doug coming down. Let me go check the front door.
all right. Now if you extrapolate that by the U.S., that's why they was like, okay, people sitting at home during the pandemic was not good for business. We just gonna go back to what it is. It wasn't, but it was a necessary way to try. And, they thought that they were gonna try. Okay, we can sit back and we defer this. They came up with a term they don't even use anymore: social distancing. When the last time you heard somebody say social distancing? About 3 years ago, 2 years ago,
yeah.
when they started telling you, okay, we want to have people be able to have barbecues again. We want people to be able to feel comfortable with going around each other again. Dude, it's been how many years since the pandemic's supposed to be over with? A couple years.
Mhm.
I'm still like leery in
People
some
still
places.
people still get COVID. People get
I
COVID
know,
all the time.
but people walk up and be like, "Well, man, there's a lot of things that I still will not do."
My thing is like, how did it just go away? So we just say, okay, we
It
just
didn't.
crumb. We
It didn't
just
up and go
crumbled.
away, but they didn't.
We just crumbled our whole society. We just
The
basically
news.
we just destroyed our economy. And we just came up with all of these rules and regulations that were supposed to mitigate the spread, and none of that happened. And then after
Okay.
all of that, after we did all of that, they said, okay, you know what? Never mind. Just as you were. I'm like, what?
The
Just as you were? That's
the
it?
the
It's
one
over?
part.
We
If you
just
look at
done
it,
all of a sudden? That
the
made no sense, bro. That
the
made no sense.
news.
That made no sense
I
at
mean,
all.
it
There
used
was
to be
no
lead.
science
It
behind
used
that,
to be
bro.
the leading story every night on the news.
There
That
was
was the
no
lead
science
story.
behind that.
There was a lead story every night on the news. They would announce what the COVID numbers were. Then it was everything else.
And then this is another thing. Your family member got sick.
Oh,
Went to the hospital. They like, no, you can't come in here. You can't see them. I mean, you can do everything else. Keep going to Home Depot. Keep going wherever else you want to go. Do everything else, but you can't see your dying loved one. You can't see your sick loved one, and then they die, and then they tell you they just died of COVID with no oversight. It's like, really? That's what that everybody they put on a ventilator, and they came up with these protocols that were questionable. You had nurses crying out, doctors crying out, like, bro, we doing something wrong because every time we use these vents, people die in the name of saving their life. And so, anyway, that whole debacle was, in my opinion, just it was egregious to the 10th level. And it was no science. It was very little science. People said, follow the science, follow the science. It was very little science involved in that whole debacle. Because
All
now all
right.
of a sudden it's over, it's done, and we just back to normal. Like,
yeah.
ah,
I mean, but we're gonna see how the world looks under the new administration coming up. Big Doug just joined the show. What's going on, fellas?
What up?
what's
Give your
going on?
thought real quick
Hold on,
on the
let me
election.
get back to my.
Oh, you got the MAGA hat?
Oh, come on, man. We got to make it great again. One more time. We got to get it great. One more again, big dog.
Yeah. I ain't even mad at you, bro. Trust me. What's
Hey,
your
hold
thoughts?
on. Let's say this for the record too. Not only the electoral vote by a landslide, but marry that to the popular vote. Give it up for history being made. Let's go.
Okay.
What was the country thinking? And listen, if you watch the news, that's why you know all of this news is coerced. You know that it's all funded by somebody's agenda. You listen to all of this news, you would think that the world hated this man so much that there would be no space for a man like that in our society. I mean, to the point to where the assassination attempts. I mean, this guy hated it, but at the same time, then we get the electoral votes and the popular vote. Come on, bro. Where the fake news? Fake news at?
His campaign manager ran a hell of a campaign. No, it wasn't so much as that. I'm
No,
down
it
in
wasn't.
Ohio. I'm talking to the guys down there, you know what I mean? And really, everybody just saw history repeat itself. Because in 2020, nobody voted for Biden. They only voted against Trump. This election here, nobody really voted for Trump. They was walking out of his
Campaign stuff.
right. They was walking out. They voted against Biden.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. I got to get ready to roll.
Thanks
Y'all
for
have
joining us.
fun. I'm going to talk to y'all later.
All right,
Okay.
man.
All right.
So you say so. What do you think Harris did wrong? Was you a Harris supporter first, if you don't mind sharing?
Okay. I was good in the beginning, and then I noticed that when she's doing her campaigns and everything like that, if everybody go back and watch Barack when he first ran, right? She only repeated the same thing he said, line for line, word for word.
What was that?
In terms of if you go back and watch when Barack ran against Hillary, everything was immediate. It was such a chaos coming and all of this. They scared the crap out of everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So she started doing the same thing with this Project 25. But at the same token, you got to consider, this is the way I see it. The reason I couldn't vote for her is because
you can't give my money to Ukraine. Help Israel. Let these people over here give them housing, food, clothing, and a debit card. They're getting paid off with our money. But yet,
Come on.
you did this in front of homeless people that you refused to help. That's a slap in the face.
And hurricane victims too. Don't forget about the hurricane victims.
Exactly. When Hurricane Milton hit Augusta, went up through South Carolina, tore up all those small towns. People laying out in the street dead. Instead of Biden being a man about it, he sent her down there knowing she's running for president. That's not a good look. So that one, you being a punk, and two, she got to go down here to deliver the message that FEMA has no money. How does FEMA have no money when you just help everybody else?
Come on, baby.
There's no way I can't support that.
Terrible. That's the
There's some mishaps in the approach.
And that's the Biden administration on full view. When it comes to the American people, they get a backseat to illegal immigrants and other countries around the world. Forget our own people. We got to take care of everybody else. And that's exactly the opposite, in my opinion, of what Trump stood for. And so that's why it was an easy vote for me. America first.
Now, Bernie Sanders had recently spoken and said the Democratic Party got to get back to the working class. So that they've gotten out of touch with those voters.
My thing is, for her, she can come back and win the next election, depending on how Trump does. Okay. Right? However, it would be, I think, the next election will be the most exciting election if she makes it back to that point. You know what I mean? Because J.D. Vance is smart. He's very intelligent. He's just not, he's not a people person. He doesn't relate into conversation. So if they can work on that part right there, make it more social, you know what I mean? So, well,
I mean, she would need a real campaign manager because whoever she had didn't do too much of nothing, in my opinion.
She didn't think it through. But when we talked before,
even in 90 days, you still got 90 days to put out your policies, your messaging, and stay on brand.
Right, but when we talked before, like I said, you know, off camera, but still, she's a lazy candidate. Not in action, but she's lazy in her thinking. Because either way it goes, and everybody got to consider the fact that, first of all, when Biden debated Trump, right? For him to be that far gone mentally, you know what I mean? And it showed. He didn't just get like that.
Nah, that was a big secret.
So, as vice president, your job is to be ready if something happens to this dude. She showed that she hasn't been on her job like that. For her to come in and like, you got to figure it out, you should already know.
Yeah. That's what. Thank you for making that point, because I clearly say that 90 days wasn't a disadvantage to her.
Exactly.
She is actively serving. She's actively serving as the current vice president of the United States of the world for 3.5 years already. You're literally doing this every day of your life. Mm-hmm. You got 3.5 years of doing this every day, seeing how this works firsthand, looking at all of the extenuating circumstances that got us to where we at, and then you can't even articulate out of your own head what you would do to get us on track, bro. She ain't ready.
Yeah. There's a lot of mishaps. She would have to repackage herself because I doubt the party would want her to run again if like everybody kept throwing at you. You was already VP and you wasn't ready.
If she was to run again, there's only one thing she has to really do. Go to every major city and have town hall meetings. Instead of telling people we're going to do for you, ask us what we want. No person running, no candidate has ever done that. Make history.
They ain't gonna do that because they don't care what you want. They're gonna tell you what you want.
Exactly.
Government's so big now, it's not for the people, by the people.
Exactly.
We clearly see it's always special interests and people that got money. They cater to them to some degree.
Right. Even as bad as Trump talked about Latinos, he carried the Latino vote. So even they was like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
You got to look at it, dude.
Hey, that boy
they're mad because they had to jump through hurdles.
That boy came through, boy.
Right. these Latinos over here got over here the right way mad because one, we had to go through all these hurdles, start at low end jobs, and basically we got it out the mud. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you just gonna let these people over here, and give them all of this? Then you wouldn't do that for us. Who told you they was better than us?
And let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all, from what y'all seen, do you believe that the Joe Biden administration weaponized
Appreciate the light.
the DOJ to go after Trump? Do you that all of those countless attacks from Russian collusion that was
I
ain't gonna say that
did that on
because
his own.
a lot of people in his administration was dirty. Some of them did some dirty stuff.
Okay, hold on.
Things was coming home.
How many times did Trump get impeached?
None.
No, 3.
Come on. How many impeachment processes did he have to go through? They impeached him like several times.
Right.
Oh, no.
I think he got impeached 3 times.
The actual process? I don't think he went through the actual process.
It was at least twice.
I know once because Mitt Romney had voted against.
It was at least twice. And so here we are. We say that this man was Russian colluding. Come to find out, when they did no evidence at all, that was literally a whole scam from Hillary to try to discredit him.
It's been twice.
That was a whole scam. So anyway, so here it is. You got a man that has been so attacked. I've never seen a president or any person of American standings in our political arena get attacked to this level. 2 impeachments. How many other indictments and how many other charges against him? Not only that, convicted him as a felon, and all of this to try to get rid of this man. In America, the people can see right through all of that, and nobody agreed with it because this voting election showed the world how we really felt about how they handled everything. And even though our vote is not represented in the news reporting, because let the news tell it that, that's how everybody feels. Until our vote got broadcasted to a national audience, we saw that there was more people that was against this Biden era than ever before believed. And then they want us to believe that in 2020, this dude got more votes than any president in the history of the world.
Now, hold up.
That part,
you have to take into account. Because of COVID,
1 million votes, bro.
Because of COVID, they sent out the absentee ballot because people didn't want to go in person. They kept telling this all the time. Over 100 million ballots had went out, and majority of the one, even Trump people have admitted, he knew they was for Biden. But every state didn't want to count all those votes early.
Dude,
they do it now.
Hold on, bro. They did all of that this year too. They had absentee ballots. They had early voting.
But they didn't have 100 million. And they were not counting them early like they do now.
Yes, they was.
No. In 2020, and all of the people kept telling you, mainly Joe's show, Morning Joe, because a lot of these states don't want to count all these ballots.
You think he was that popular, bro?
It's going to take till Saturday.
You think
count all of them?
Listen, you think Joe Biden was that popular that he got 81 million votes, bro?
He was that popular because of Trump handling of COVID.
Right. It wasn't that he was popular. It was basically Trump.
That's why
Trump was that hated at the time.
If Trump would have never
That's what they told us. They keep telling us how hated Trump is.
If Trump would have never got rid of Obama's pandemic response team in 2017, we wouldn't have had a COVID problem. They would have took care of it. But he got rid of it.
That was a global problem. That wasn't a United States problem, bro.
Still, when it hit our borders,
it happened in China, man. It happened in China.
We had something in place to deal with it.
Yep.
He got rid of it and didn't replace it. And him telling people to drink bleach and all that craziness on TV told a lot of American people, I don't like this dude, but I need a basic governing person to get us through this. That's why a lot of people absentee voted for Biden. His own people would have been on record saying, we knew out of 100 million votes, majority was for Biden. But once they start counting them, those states were going to flip because states didn't want to count the votes. Now they count that early.
I don't know if y'all
it don't matter. I don't know. They didn't cheat them. They counted it twice because he kept saying they're going to cheat
on election day.
Every state
counted. Nah, bro.
No.
Even this time they counted twice.
They got
I don't
stuff
think so.
still in the court session
this one.
saying how there was a lot of failure in that election that's still being what they call it. It's still in the court system now. It's still being litigated. It's still being
In my
litigated now.
opinion, he felt he got cheated because on election night,
I
just
felt
for the people that
he
walk
was
in,
up in every
he
number.
win.
I went to bed, bro. Trump was up
Yeah.
in every. He was up everywhere.
Yeah, but
I
those
went
were
to
the
sleep.
numbers.
I went to sleep like, yeah, we good.
Yeah,
I
but
woke
again,
up.
but
Nah,
again,
bro.
but
Nah,
again,
bro. I woke up
But-
and
but
it was
ag-
like, yep, Biden got
but-
81 million.
but
I'm
again,
like, oh hell no.
they again they said it. They said it
Nah,
the
bro.
same night. They
Nah,
said it
bro.
all that day.
Nah,
It's gonna look like he's winning just from the people that walk in to vote.
because they had the
But
plan.
you got 100 million votes absentee. That majority is Biden votes that
Nah,
no
bro.
one wants to count.
They
And
trying
when
to,
they count them all,
nah,
them states will flip. And they did.
I don't believe it.
So he didn't get cheated because they counted it twice to prove you didn't win.
Yeah.
Had he dealt with, if he didn't
that's
have a
what they told us.
pandemic, I think he would get reelected, honestly.
They told us they counted.
If you didn't have a pandemic, he would get reelected, in my opinion.
I digress. But yeah, I ain't feeling that.
And I'm being real with you.
He got
tell
more votes
anybody,
than Obama.
without
This idiot
Corona,
got more votes than Obama in red
because you had a
states.
pandemic.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a pandemic, Trump would have got reelected, in my opinion.
All of them dead people that they finding out now is a whole lot of dead people voting in that 2020 election. It was a whole lot of dead people voting for Biden. That was crazy.
I didn't say who. I know they said we know the votes are for Biden once they counted.
Yep.
All I know is turned out this election here. I'm down in Ohio when Elon Musk sent that tweet that all of these illegals that they let over here, if you don't go out and vote, they're gonna legalize them. They sent buses, they did same day registration and voted right then. It was, I mean, dude, it was like a panic. Wow. That's how he got. I mean, I don't know what happened up in Michigan.
But across the country, people voted for Trump
because Elon Musk said
they don't like Biden.
He said that tweet, and I'm like,
they won't change.
Did y'all know? Did y'all know that there were states that was letting illegal immigrants vote?
I did hear about that. I found that weird.
It was Illinois.
They passed a law that it's illegal to ask for ID or papers to vote, and so you got to let everybody vote. So they was doing their best to rig.
I found that weird.
They was doing what they do best, but it just didn't work on this big stage that we was on this time.
Yeah, I think Herb losing puts us in, put everybody in position to ask for something. Stop just voting and not getting anything out of it.
What was one of Kamala Harris's policies that she had that you was most excited about, Doug?
None. Being honest with you, none of them. Because things what she was talking about, as far as small business, increasing the startup donations for small business, that sound attractive. But other than that, nothing else really.
Some people like the $25,000 for homes we talked about earlier.
Okay. Yeah, that's lame. That didn't affect me that much. Yeah. But the small business thing, that was cool. Everything else, dude, it was all about the women. The women. I'm like, come on, reproduction rights. Tell them to stop having all these abortions. They can carry the baby full term. It is what it is.
It's all about that, man. She pushed the boy.
In the free state, everybody have free will.
Huh?
They put that to the states now to vote.
I like how they call it reproductive rights instead of abortion and murder. Like, kill your baby, the right to kill your baby.
Right.
Reproductive rights sound like you reproducing
they
something.
Put it to the states
like
to vote on.
But if you tell the truth, the real problem is that they've had too many abortions and they having complications when they actually want to deliver a child.
Yeah.
Carry it full term.
Yeah.
Your woman's too weak.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There have been some talks to that. So, final thoughts?
Yes.
On this election. Don, you go first.
So my final thoughts is the
people watching.
The American people have spoken. This has been the American positioning since, in my opinion, Biden took office. His approval rating stayed low the
Mm-hmm.
entire time. And I don't understand how somebody who gets 81 million votes, that seems the most popular president of our lifetime, approval rating was never strong. And how not only did he never have a strong approval rating, his policies and the way that he carried the country stayed in the headlines for all of the wrong reasons, because he became a geriatric symbol of deterioration before the country, and we looked weaker than we ever did as a country. And the whole time that he was mentally unable and incapable, the Democratic Party lied to the American people year after year, saying, nope, he's fine. He's great. He's doing wonderful. Nope, we talked to him yet. And so they kept lying to, it shows you how much they care about the people. They kept lying to us about Joe Biden's ability until he got sick of it and he just canceled his own, like, I ain't doing this no more. And
Exactly. Now
so,
I think he was forced out.
yeah,
Ooh.
and so,
It was going to vote the 25th Amendment. Yeah, go ahead, Don.
And so, lastly, we see the sham of a Biden-Harris administration, and we see the effect that immediately it has had on our everyday lifestyles. And people want it different. They was ready. We ready to get out of this nightmare that they told us was a dream that we was waiting on. And so, I just think that we see that the American people have spoken, and we want strong leadership.
Mm-hmm. Okay, your final thoughts, Doug? I mean, I agree basically everything that you just said, man. I think everybody got duped with that administration.
The
Everybody got
plantation
duped
master, boy.
because
Well,
one, you can't name anything that he's done for us, but you're not black if you don't vote for him.
Ooh, he did hit us with that one. Oh, that's just like a slave master telling you ain't black.
Exactly.
he's not a slave master. He's a city president. We're gonna be respectful.
But he does have this sense of what's the word?
Entitlement.
Yeah, he feel like he was entitled because he's a Democrat. He's the head of the Democrat. They feel like, okay, because we're Democrat, you're supposed to vote for us.
They own black people. That's how they feel. That's why Obama came out there and said, "What's wrong with y'all?" Obama tongue lashed the whole black population like, "I own you, Negroes. Why y'all ain't doing what I told y'all to do?" Now tell me he didn't, Jeff.
And he learned that you ain't nobody daddy. You're your wife.
But what made you? What made you think he had? Why do you think he felt he had the right to talk to us like that?
Power corrupts. He came in humble and he think he's that powerful that I can say that they're gonna listen. You're not. You're just another person like everybody else. I mean, I think this election really showed, one, they should have had a plan for his health, since we saw from that debate that it's been declining. And they should have probably been moved him out the way, or in both 25th Amendment had to be president already, instead of waiting so long till it's 90 days left. And after that, he could continue because the world saw something right with that guy. I mean, he was already losing to Trump, but that was just like, I said, Sleepy Joe, I want to lie on this guy. I'm going to beat him handily. So they throw her out there. If anybody don't know, when they changed the campaign laws, they had open convention like Obama wanted, and they got two new people. The $400 million that they had on hand, they would have had to refund and ask for it back. But if one of the people on the original ticket was still there running, they can just still use the money. That's why they pushed her through. They just moved her to president, just do another VP. She have access to the campaign money already got. That made Obama be quiet about opening convention because he didn't think she could win. He was not, even after they told him that, he still wasn't that quick to get out there and campaign for her.
Yeah.
And then once they start getting all the analytics back showing black men not rock with her, that's when he felt, well, I'm the first black president. I have the right to tell y'all what. No, you don't.
White men wasn't rocking with her.
You and your wife are cool, but you ain't nobody mom and daddy.
You're right.
That hurt her campaign more. Besides the misstep with the Asheville, Carolina situation with them losing everything, and Trump was there bringing in his resource to help out. They only trying to offer $750. You barely saw her or Biden come down there and show help or compassion. They made a lot of bad steps
She was
along the
still
way.
campaigning while them people was down there dying and suffering, bro.
A lot. I mean, they made a lot of bad mistakes on the Democratic side to where they need to reevaluate what is your purpose. Y'all supposed to be for the little guy.
It wasn't even
And
mistakes.
y'all wasn't.
They just showed you what they thought about American citizens.
So they definitely got a lot to do. Because
I agree with that.
Anybody that comes forward right now saying they're looking to run in 28, you got to rebrand what they just showed. We don't care about y'all. And so that's easy work for whoever's next up. Like, well, I'm just going to, what have y'all changed since they left office? Show us where you care about people now.
Do you think he's going to serve all 4 years?
I don't think he's going to make it to office, man. I don't.
Yeah, you don't believe something will happen. I don't think that.
I think we're so close. There's so much going on right now, bro. I think we're so close. Something big's about to happen.
No, what, dude?
And I think it's so big. Trump, forget Trump. I don't think he gonna make it. And I ain't counting on him to make it. My trust ain't in Trump. But I just think that this country is about to shift majorly because he won. And they talking so crazy. It's so many people in power and with big money that set our country up the way it is now. And I don't think they about to lose ground to no guy like them and, to his cabinet coming in and undoing all what they did. And so anyway, it's just my opinion that we won't experience another Trump presidency, but I think the country's in trouble, big trouble, bro. I think we are in big trouble.
I mean, a lot of work got to be done.
This general said before that it wasn't going to be an election. Something major is going to happen.
Bro.
And dude didn't sound like he was guessing. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say again to whoever's watching, I think it's not wrong to have you some extra non-perishable food, to have you some water, and to have you some resources put to the side, just in case the movies that we've seen of lately, Civil War. Anybody see Civil War?
I saw that movie.
Yeah. Anybody see Leave Earth Behind, the Obama special that he wanted to show us how to crumble a society in 3 steps?
I ain't see that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Y'all ain't see that?
Nope.
I heard about
come on. Man, please watch that movie. The fact why a past president found it necessary to endorse and be a part of this movie, I don't know. But the whole premise of the movie is how do we crumble a society, a country in 3 stages. And his premise was if you cut the power and you cut the internet, you put everybody in the dark. Then you start little uprisings. We got upwards of 20 million illegal immigrants just camping out, waiting for the whistle to blow.
Thank you. Yeah.
Then
this is speculative.
This is speculative.
This is real.
But it was a lot of military-age men that was walking over that border. It wasn't families fleeing, conditions. It was very few families and a whole lot of young men coming in.
Right. And then, not to cut you off, but during the pandemic, right? Everybody shut down. I'm still working. I'm down in Ohio, dude. I saw the longest train I ever seen in my life. The thing had 3 engines in the middle of it. And all it had was military equipment going out west.
Bro.
Right, going out west. And you're like, where's it going?
They just passed the law. We just talked about that. And see, when you look at all of the breadcrumbs, all I'm saying is, and then plus, don't read the Bible. Oh my goodness, don't add the Bible to it, bruh. Something big coming. And
yeah.
so that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I definitely hope, and this has been a good one because we've been averaging at least 5 people watching. So this been the talk everybody mind. It's good to have 2 people from both sides give their opinion on the situation, and we can talk like adults, agree to disagree, learn something. Hopefully, we can get back to that as a country because there's a lot of TikToks from black women talking crazy, all type of people talking crazy. Like, come on.
I heard people was killing themselves and cutting their hair off and going crazy. Like
I ain't heard that, but I've heard people with threats.
My son told me that. He said he's seeing people's reaction, man. It's like mental illness is sweeping the nation, bro.
We praying for these people not to do nothing to themselves.
Yeah.
But then the
Call
scared people to that point
988
though.
if you have a problem. That's the mental health hotline, 988.
Right. These people are scared, fearing something that hasn't happened more than what they're going through.
Yeah, because right now there's nothing wrong. Sun comes up, sun goes down.
But I'm with you though. I'm going to get them perishables. A whole lot of water.
Yes, sir. You are not wrong, and you will use it.
Yeah.
And to anybody watching, hey, share this episode. Hopefully, give y'all something to talk about around the table productively. Keep tuning in to Middle Ground and the JLE brand shows. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world. Till next time, everybody.
313 Detroit love, the Motor City. Detroit love, can't nothing stop me. Detroit love, I love my city. Detroit love, that 313. Detroit raised me. Detroit.